Hey everybody, my name is Bryce Young. I'm the president and founder of Warm Audio, and today I'm very excited to talk about our new WA-CX24. In this video, we're primarily going to be discussing the features and benefits of the CX24, but if you want to hear sound samples, we definitely have them. Click down at the link in the description below. So the CX24, why did Warm Audio decide to make this microphone? Why did I want to make it? As you know, we already have the WA-CX12, which is based on the classic vintage C12, and the C24 is really a stereo version of that microphone. And the reason why I wanted to make this, I think one of the reasons is it's very rare and hard to find and very expensive. I looked online actually before filming this video, and there were original C24 selling for anywhere from $18,000 to $35,000. And to my understanding, less than 1,000 were ever made. So recreating this beast, bringing it back to the market, building it faithfully just like the original was exciting to me. When I think of a C12 or a C24 style microphone, I think of the warmth of the tube, but I also love it because it has great top end. Definitely not sibilant, but present and bright and available. But there's a great girth and warmth and width. One of my favorite recordings that I've heard with the C12 is Paul McCartney using a mono C12 in front of his acoustic while recording Blackbird. And you can watch some cool videos of this on Disney's Get Back, where you can hear him tapping his foot. Everybody always thought it was a metronome, but it was actually his foot tapping in the background. But that microphone became so popular because it just captures such a wide sound. And creating that microphone, the C12, in a stereo C24, CX24 style allows you to get an even wider and bigger sound because you can capture stereo recordings. I also think of the We Are the World session where Lionel Richie, Michael Jackson, and Quincy Jones brought all those famous people into a studio, and there were C12s all around them. Now, those weren't the C24, the stereo version, but it was that sound, and it's a sound that just works on most things. It sounds very musical, sounds very forgiving, but also has that top end, that detail, that presence that we all want in our recordings. Now, more specifically, the CX24 or a C24 style microphone, what got me interested to create that was learning about how the original was used and why it is so coveted. And yes, it is two C12 style microphones in one, but because they are aligned, the capsules are in a position to give you a perfectly phase coherent sound. It can be used in ways that it's hard to use two microphones. And so when I looked into some of the history, some of the famous people, Steve Albini loved the C24. He used it to capture room sounds usually. Same with Elvis Costello. It's a real cool story from 1976. There's a man named Harry James, and he decided to record an album with just one C24. The album was called the King James version. So imagine a big band wrapped around one microphone. And the purpose was to do very little processing, so the microphone ran to a mixing desk and then direct to vinyl lathe, no tape even. This recording sounds incredible. You can hear the lusciousness of the horns, great top end detail, great low end on the bass. It just sounds incredible in a single mic, and it's such a testament to what a C24 style microphone can do if it can capture an entire band with one microphone. Many of you watching this video have probably recorded with two microphones in stereo, but I know that a lot of people haven't used a stacked capsule stereo microphone. And there are some great benefits to it. And I think there are reasons why true professionals prefer this style of microphone in a lot of stereo setups. So what are some of the ways you might want to use stacked phase coherent capsules? And there's a lot of different things you could do. You could just leave them in cardioid, both facing forward, and have the benefit of running the two capsules or the two mics through two different preamps or signal chains. Maybe one's going to hit compression, maybe even get some distortion. Others running through a clean path, and you can mix and blend later or decide which one you like the most. I think the most common, or one of the most common ways to use this microphone is in an XY. So you're going to turn the top capsule 90 degrees, You'll still have it set in cardioid. You could have it sitting in front of an acoustic, for example, where one capsule is facing the body of the guitar, the other capsule is facing the neck of the guitar. You could do the same XY setup on overheads. You could also do it on a piano. Stacked capsules is a great way to know that the sound source is going to hit those capsules in phase and at the same time. So keeping the capsules set at 90 degrees from each other, you could change the polar patterns down here to a figure of 8. That would create a Blum line setup. And what that does is it's going to reject, as we know, figure of 8 is going to reject sound from the sides of the capsules. And this is great for picking up the ambience of a room. So another famous technique with capsules set at 90 degrees like this is called mid-side. And what that is when the bottom capsule is set to cardioid, facing the source. The top capsule is set to figure of 8, perpendicular to the source. And that creates a format that allows engineers to mix down to mono very easily. Now you may have noticed all these techniques I'm talking about here have been at 90 degrees. So you might ask, okay, do you just use this mic either in parallel or at 90 only? Well, not necessarily. There are a lot of engineers that do like to go past 90. The reason for that is it gives them an even wider and broader stereo image. So those of you that know Warm Audio by now know we care a lot about the components inside the product, so much so that we talk about it all over our website. We even have pictures of the insides. It's what gets me excited, because I know without good components, things don't sound quite right. So we went the extra mile to give you everything that you'd expect to find in a C24 style microphone. So starting here at the bottom, and the reason why this mic is so long is here in the bottom you've got 2 AMI tab Funkenwerk transformers. They're quite large too. They barely fit inside the body of the mic. You've got a single 12A WA-CX7 tube. You've got WEMA and polystyrene capacitors. So with any great microphone, we got to ask, what is the capsule? What's inside? Well, obviously, since it's a stereo microphone, you've got 2 capsules. They are the same capsule. They're CK12 style, based on the vintage, and their frequency response matched to the vintage. They're the same capsules we use in our CX12 microphone and in our WA-251 microphone. So to be very clear, this mic has 2 capsules, but they are independent. So when they come to the power supply, you've got 2 individual outputs to go to different preamps or the same style of preamp. They will be recorded though into your DAW completely independently. I want to talk about some of the other aspects of the construction of the microphone. The body is made out of a solid piece of brass. So it's actually a brass billet. Think of almost like a bat that you could swing. And they drill all the way through it to hollow it out to put the electronics inside. So you're going to have a real sturdy, also heavy, microphone body being built that way. The shock mount has to be really sturdy as well to hold up such a heavy microphone. The shock mount is made of metal. It comes with extra elastic straps in the carrying case when it's shipped. Then down here we've got a Gotham cable. We at Warm Audio are big into Gotham. Since the first tube microphone that we ever released, we tried different cables, and we realized for a tube mic, the cable really does matter. If you're using a low quality cable, the noise floor of the microphone is increased. It's not just hum and buzz, but that kind of sound enters in. So normally a tube mic ships with a 7-pin cable. This one ships with a 9-pin. It needs 2 extra wires because it's got an extra capsule and an extra signal running to the power supply. The power supply is also where you get to adjust your polar patterns from cardioid to omni to figure of 8. But there's actually 9 different patterns you can choose from. And some might ask, what are those different patterns in between cardioid, omni, and figure of 8? And what it is you're just applying a little more voltage to the front or the back. And so they're called sort of intermediate patterns, where you're getting a little bit more strength from the front than the back, maybe in omni or in figure of 8, for example. So real quick to cover what comes with your CX24, you get the microphone, of course, get the metal shock mount, the 9-pin, 15-foot long Gotham cable, dual channel power supply, which comes with the power cord, the IEC cable. You've got a microphone storage wood box here, and then also a tweed flight case that carries all of these items all in one. Thanks so much for taking the time to learn about the CX24 with me. If you have any other questions, want to read up, watch videos, hear sound samples, you can learn more at warmaudio.com.